What if I told you that one of the greatest minds in history left behind a key to life, and it's hidden inside a super simple, everyday metaphor? It sounds almost too easy, right? But honestly, it might be one of the most powerful lessons you'll ever hear. So let's unlock it together. I mean, who hasn't, right? That feeling, like you're just spinning your wheels, but you're not going anywhere. You're trying so hard to find your balance, but nothing seems to work. It's a feeling we all know. But what if the answer to getting unstuck was right in front of us this whole time? And there it is, a quote from Albert Einstein that holds the secret. Now, on the surface, it just looks like a nice little saying, something you might see on a coffee mug. But when you really, really break it down, it unpacks this profound philosophy for navigating pretty much everything life can throw at you. Okay, so let's dive into the first big idea here. It all starts with the most literal part of the quote, the actual physics of riding a bike and how it perfectly mirrors the physics of living a good life. So just look at this comparison for a second. It's so simple, but it is everything. Think about it. If you stop pedaling a bike, what happens, right? You immediately start to wobble, you get that little feeling of panic, and boom, you're on the ground. Standing still is just unstable by nature. But the second you start moving, even just a little, you find your balance, you get a sense of direction, and you start making progress. Well, guess what? Life works the exact same way. So here's the bottom line. The moment we freeze up, because of fear or doubt, that's when we lose our footing. Growth isn't about moving perfectly. It's just about being in motion, even if you're just inching forward. All right, so building on that, let's talk about the next piece of the puzzle. Because let's be real, life isn't always a smooth, flat road, right? Sometimes the path gets steep. And you know what? That's not a bad thing. In fact, it's necessary.
Yeah, we all know these, don't we? The uphill climbs of life. Those moments that just drain you, and all you want to do is stop. But just like pedaling a bike uphill builds your muscles, getting through these challenges is exactly what builds your strengths, your resilience, and your character. They're not getting in the way of your journey, they are your journey.
And get this, Einstein himself is the perfect example. This guy wasn't an overnight success. No way. He was rejected, he struggled to find a job, but he never, ever stopped pedaling. It was that refusal to quit, even when it was brutally hard, that literally allowed him to change the world. And this brings up a really crucial point. It's the whole tortoise and the hare story, right? You don't need to sprint up the hill in one massive heroic burst. A slow, steady pedal will get you there. It's that consistent, day in, day out effort that really builds momentum and gets you to the top. Okay, moving on to our third big lesson. And honestly, this one might be a game changer for a lot of you because it kind of flips what most of us think about confidence completely on its head. See, we have this idea that we need to find confidence somewhere before we can do the scary thing, before we can take the leap. But that's just not how it works. Not at all. For one, it doesn't come from just thinking about it. You know that feeling of analysis paralysis, where you think and think and think until you've thought yourself right back to where you started, having done nothing? That's not confidence. And it's not about endless planning either. I mean, a good plan is useful, but sometimes it's just a fancy way of procrastinating, isn't it? A way to feel like you're being productive without actually taking a real risk.
And it for sure does not come from waiting for that perfect moment to start. Spoiler alert, it is never coming. Standing still, waiting, is the very thing that keeps us unbalanced.
Here's the truth. Action is what creates confidence. It's not the other way around. It's just like the bike. The first time you rode, you were shaky, right? The 100th time, you weren't even thinking about it. You build belief through evidence, and the evidence comes from doing. Okay, so let's tie all of this together. What was Einstein really trying to tell us with this whole bicycle thing? It goes way deeper than just balance or strength. It's about the very nature of life itself. First off, life is dynamic. It's not a still photograph. It is a moving picture. It is never, ever static. And because life is always moving, change is the one thing you can actually count on. So trying to stand still while the whole world moves around you, well, that's a surefire way to get left in the dust. This means things like growing, adapting, and learning. They aren't just nice little extras. They're the direct result of embracing motion. It's the only way to really thrive. And this, right here, might be the most freeing part of this whole idea. It gives you permission to not have it all figured out. You don't need to see the end of the road. You just have to take that next pedal stroke. Just keep going. So I'm really curious, what does moving forward look like for you right now? Go ahead and drop a comment below. Tell us one thing, big or small, that you're pedaling towards. Let's build a little community of movers. And hey, if this idea of progress over perfection clicks with you, do me a favor and hit that like button. Think of it as a little promise to yourself to keep moving forward. And of course, make sure you're subscribed because we're always digging into these huge ideas from history's greatest minds, and you are not going to want to miss what's coming next. So let's leave it with this. The next time you feel stuck, when you feel that wobble, just picture that bicycle. The answer isn't to stop and think about it. It's to push off, start pedaling, and find your balance in the journey. Until next time, keep moving.